What's up, everybody? It is another episode of Hell's Kitchen to juggle out there, and we have a guest in the studio. Let's get it.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey.
Frank, it's me and you, buddy.
That's right.
Yeah. See, I don't do that. Like,
I'm so into it.
Yeah, they just
It's so
they get
good.
into it, and it makes no sense
No, it
whatsoever.
doesn't. Just let it happen. Feel it.
No,
Feel it.
I'm not. I'm
Yes.
gonna put my arms at my sides like
Do
this.
it.
No, I'm refusing.
We got you.
Yes.
I'm refusing. See, Manda didn't do it. See,
No, you just kind
exactly.
of got to do the, like,
No,
Yeah,
it's okay.
you're not.
We'll get it for all y'all.
no.
You're gonna take that. Oh gosh. What's up, everybody? You know what it is. Another episode of Hell's Kitchen. I'm your host, Lem Gonsalves, and you can find me everywhere at The Poet Saint all day, every day. Also, check out my website, stayonthemic.com. Next to me is the effervescent one. That is my homegirl, Ashley Chaney. Ashley on camera. What's up?
It actually scared me when you said that.
I was like, that was fear. I saw fear.
I was hoping to like milk a few more compliments out, and then I got
okay.
scared.
Oh, okay.
Hey everybody, it's Ashley. Good to see you here on this, fiery evening.
Yes.
On the Hell's Kitchen After Show. Hope you all are safe out there. Find me on social media and let's talk. You can do that at Ashley on camera. I want to hear from you guys.
Absolutely.
Hi.
I'm gonna throw it all the way to the far side. My man, he's over there with the Ghostbusters shirt. Always looking his best.
That's right. I just rolled out of 8th grade, coming here to do a show.
Yes.
Look at me. Everybody, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at HappyGoJackie.
Yeah. And that's Frank Moran, for those of you who don't know.
And there's no reason you should. You should not know me. If you do, then there's a problem.
It's a problem. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an in-studio guest, and I'm super excited because she is here, and she is with us, and she's super dope. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. We already got the applause going for Manda Palomino. What is up?
Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I drove 2.5 hours to see you.
You did, and
Yes.
with
Through
presents.
fire.
Yes,
Guys.
through fire.
Through fire.
With presents.
Yes.
With these.
I'm gonna get the shot of this,
Yes.
but
Those-
these are amazing cupcakes that we are going to devour. I don't know if I'm gonna last to the end of the show. I'm just saying.
It's funny to me that you guys think you're getting some of those.
Yeah.
It's really
I told
cute.
you, just give me the lemon. Just give me the lemon. I'm
We'll
gonna
talk
be
about the
good.
lemon.
And then, that's it. That's all she wrote. But Amanda, these are from the bakery that you work at.
So these are from the bakery that I manage. It's called Too Good to Be. We're in Rancho Bernardo, California, and we are completely gluten, corn, and soy free. So those of you who watch the show know that I have a huge problem because I have celiac disease, which puts a lot of my cooking to the test because I can't eat a lot of things. But I have found a place to work that harbors my food sensitivities,
That's really dope.
where I don't have to worry every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have just speaking of that, you've now done Hell's Kitchen twice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, did that ever present a problem filming with all the
Several
food that you
times.
worked? It did.
Yeah, actually, so filming season 15, there was a couple small instances, but there was a lot of talk about celiac disease that I did off camera that never got aired. My signature dish actually was specifically gluten-free because we were told to put ourselves on a plate. And so I did something gluten-free. And of course, Gordon ripped me apart for it and was like, well, I'm not gluten-free, so why should you give me that? And I was like, well, but they told me to give myself to you.
Right.
So, of course, none of it ever got aired, which I was really upset about because I really wanted to have a little bit of a platform for those of us who do have celiac disease that want to cook and have a lot of restrictions with what we can and cannot do, and show that you can kind of overcome it with a lot of different ways.
I got to mention that it's more challenging, though, in a Hell's Kitchen environment. Because in a regular kitchen, everybody's supporting each other because you want to have a good service.
Yeah.
But there's that element of competition in a kitchen like Hell's Kitchen
Yeah.
where if they can sell you down the river by not helping you by maybe tasting some of your pasta, they will do
And
so.
I know exactly, like
Absolutely.
Michelle threw me under the bus a couple times in one of the episodes before by not helping me out.
Right.
And then this time around, there was 2 instances when I got really sick from something that I ate off set and something I didn't make for myself.
Oh.
And it really, really hurt me because if I get glutened, it's days
a wrap.
where I'm messed up.
You're down.
Like just mentally too. I'm just like exhausted and very lethargic, and I don't feel well. And there's so many symptoms that go along with having celiac disease that don't present themselves as like a physical issue.
Right.
So this time around, it was actually really difficult, and making that very known to everybody, saying like, "Look, I can't eat pasta. I won't eat pasta. Like, you guys need to help me." Like that was hard.
Wow.
Yeah, especially in a competition.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I'm just going to jump ahead to the end. We normally kind of break it down from the top to the bottom, but I'm just going to go to the end, and I feel like you got robbed. I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone shares my sentiments.
Shared.
But yeah, I was like, I did not, because I'm watching the episode, and I'm like, okay, this is going on. Obviously, there's a lot going on with Elise and Michelle. That was kind of the theme of this episode from the beginning to the end.
And what you didn't see was me mediating between the two of them a lot. Like, I always tend to, at both seasons, I inadvertently took on like a mommy role where I was like, okay, guys, like, let's calm down. Let's not be psychotic, whatever. And if you notice, almost all the time you see me like sitting in the background, like smoking a cigarette, like just looking at him like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I saw you come in at one scene and you looked a little scared. There was a little bit of fear in you. I think you had a cigarette going on. I don't know what happened with that, but it was like really a glimpse. And you walked in and it was just like, oh, Amanda looks scared. Just saying.
Yeah. I mean, there was a couple of times, but it was most of the time, I mean, it was a lot of drama going on. I mean, Van had it right. Ratchet Reds.
Yeah.
There was a lot of fighting.
I love that. I love that. I love that.
He's so funny.
Yeah.
It really is.
But I mean, did you think, I mean, no one wants to go home. Obviously, you're there for a reason. Some people concede to like, yeah, it was my time to go. Do you felt it was your time to go at that point, or did you feel like someone else should have gone?
Bottom line is that I screwed up. Like, I really screwed up that service. There was a ticket that wasn't called, that I did not hear get called, and I screwed up. And my screw up weeded our kitchen. That is the bottom line. I messed up, and I took accountability for that. Whether or not I felt like it was my time to go home is a different story. I felt like, I was a stronger member on that team than some other people. I felt that that team was stronger with me than without me. And I think that I probably could have gone on, had I not screwed up so royally that one time, I probably could have gone a lot farther.
Do you think, would you have chosen Barbie over you?
To be perfectly honest, I would have chosen Elise over me.
Really?
Yeah.
She the girl is trouble, okay? She's drama. I know you love her, and she's great. She's great, but she is a rabble rouser.
She is.
But she can cook.
She can cook, but the question is, can she lead the kitchen? And
we've
what
had
Gordon
that-
Ramsay
Right.
is looking for is somebody to lead his flagship Hell's Kitchen restaurant in
Right.
Vegas. And I don't think that that's somebody that can.
To Frank's point, though, I mean, you guys are in a pressure cooker. Like, you have to imagine that once you're in a kitchen, like, that's not a reality competition that
It's
you're
gonna
going
be
to
a
want to be
different
working
situation.
together.
No, it's crazy.
So I'd like to, I would be so curious to see how Elise is in a regular kitchen.
In a regular type
Yeah.
kitchen.
Yeah.
The one thing I always like is when Gordon does call two chefs up there, and his opening line is like, "Man, have you given up?" And it's like,
What are you going to say?
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Yes, chef.
I'm giving up. Yeah, you got me. Tell me
Can
more.
I
I'm
get
here.
the red eye, actually? Because I got things to do back in New Jersey.
Right,
Like, come
right.
on.
But everybody takes it so well. Like, I was waiting. I would be bawling. Like, and you're just like, okay, thanks. It's been great. Like, if you took my jacket, I would start crying like immediately.
No, I think like I watched that scene a couple times because like I couldn't for the life of me after like thinking about all of it and after we filmed this back in January. I could not remember how I left.
Really?
Like I could not remember like if I went out screaming and yelling at people or if I could not remember.
Oh, wow.
And so like I watched it a couple times because I was trying to remember the whole thing because they're only showing you a tiny little instance of the
course.
45 minutes that they keep you outside in the cold like
Right.
after you've been sweaty and like gross in a t-shirt. So I was trying to remember, and that's really how it went. Like me saying, "Hey, you guys be good to each other, and I'm out. Like, see you later."
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna cry. It was, it was what it was. It's a competition. I have nothing to do with it. Like there was no amount of fighting that I could do to like change it at that moment.
Change it at that
Right.
point.
And so
in
at
time.
that moment, it was just like, all right, can I get some in and out now?
How long did that argument go while Chef Ramsay's saying, listen, and everybody's just bickering on the red team?
Yeah.
How long did that go on?
I think you saw me kind of like
Yeah.
doing this a lot. Like I was just, I
was
think that's
painful.
why I left as gracefully as I did, and I turned around and I said, "You guys be good to each other. Like be nice." Stop
and that was for the purpose of the arguments
because
that
they
had been
were
happening.
all just like, and that's the downfall of the red team right now, is just that there's just too many mouths going and too much noise. There's too much noise in the kitchen. I was trained to work in a quiet kitchen. Like you say, yes chef, no chef, and that's it.
Kitchen.
Quiet. Like there's
I
not
don't think
even
that's
music.
ever gonna happen in Hell's Kitchen.
And it never will.
Yeah.
But there's so much noise going on that you can't hear each other, and that's the problem.
So, okay, so let's say, I mean, you mentioned Elise should have gone home in this particular instance. Do you think, because your team, Red Team, has been suffering the entire season pretty much.
painful.
It's been like
I
really
know.
bad.
There's ratchet reds.
Really bad.
Can't get it together.
Do you think if Elise was out of the equation and it was a different chef, do you think that you all would have been stronger than the blue team as far as winning challenges and winning dinner services?
That is a hard question. The blue team has a lot of really strong chefs, really strong, that are focused and driven. And I think that's the key, is that focus. I think the red team has a lot of very strong chefs that don't have that same focus that what the blue team has. And I think that is the issue right now, what's happening. I think that having very loud, very combative personalities on the team, there's a difference between being loud and strong and being loud and combative.
Sure.
In my opinion, in my 33 years of life, I've learned that most of the time when people are combative, it's because they're being defensive.
Oh, for sure.
And they have something to feel like they need to live up to.
Sure.
What do you think about Michelle as like a leader of the red team? I mean,
Michelle is young and strong.
yeah,
Michelle is a badass chef.
she is. I look at her. I'm like, how could anybody?
Is that your dark horse?
No, my silent horse.
Silent horse. Yeah, sorry.
My silent,
Silent horse. Excuse me.
My silent horse is Jennifer.
Jennifer. Oh, okay. That's
And I'm
the silent horse.
she's still my silent horse. Silent horse is the name that it's an exclusive term here at AfterBuzz, which is when I don't know what dark horse means. It's silent horse. She's the silent horse for the season,
Right.
y'all.
I think Michelle is, because she's so young and because she is so focused and driven, I think she has a really great chance of going really far, not just in the competition, but in life.
Right.
And I think that has an amazing opportunity ahead of her because she is so young right now.
She's the youngest one. She's the youngest one in the competition, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think in Hell's Kitchen history, if
History?
I want to say, I'm not sure.
I remember them saying something about it at the beginning of the season.
She's really young. And I know there was a lot of times off camera when her and I would talk, like she was very upset about the arguing that was going on between her and Elise. And I would be like, look, like you kind of just got to take it as it is. I think that if she can kind of like hone that in and mature a little bit, then she can be whatever the hell she wants to be in her life. Yeah.
It's hard to shut Elise down. I mean, she's
in your face.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
The
For
thing I want
sure.
to ask about, at least with punishments, because I always feel like when she feels like she excelled in a challenge, and they lose still, she's like, I shouldn't be doing that.
I don't know, that last challenge where we were at the horse farms shoveling shit, man, she was kicking ass.
She did?
Her and I were having fun together. Like, we were having a good time until, like, I had to start screaming at Josh. And even after I screamed at Josh, she was like, I got you, girl. And I was like, okay, cool, because I'm a little scared right now.
I think we had Josh on the show for that one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we did.
He's
we
a
did.
little shit.
Hey, there it is.
hey,
Heard it here
Josh, you
first.
watching?
Hi, Josh.
Exclusive.
Yeah, whatever.
When Josh did come over to the red team, I know that he really kind of butted heads with Elise real up front too, and it felt like, at least in the promos for the week prior, it made it feel like, oh yeah, like Danny's gonna hop on board and kind of side with Josh, like, oh yeah, you are loud, you're kind of a bully, but they didn't show that in the episode. Do you feel like did you guys kind of agree with Josh? And it's like, but we're not gonna say anything because we're gonna be.
So what I always like to remind people is that you're seeing 42 minutes of a 16+ hour day.
Right.
So the editing is very, very key in this, and the producers are only going to show you what they want to show you. What you don't see is a lot of the side talking and like a lot of the like not super fun stuff, like the very mediocre, like let's sit out on the patio and smoke a cigarette and just chat about our day. The promos I feel like are always like so much drama, and then like you get to the next season, the next episode, none of that happened.
Right.
But when Josh came over to the red team, none of us were happy about him coming over to the red team, but it wasn't because of Josh. It wasn't Josh we were upset about. It was the change of our team.
Sure.
It was the taking away of Rodman and replacing somebody else when we had just kind of started to hit our stride as a team.
I feel like that was one of the only real moments that the red team was.
Yeah, like we
some-
had just kind of got to where we wanted to be, and then all of a sudden GR changed it, and we were like, no, like why?
What are you doing?
Yeah. So it wasn't Josh that we had a problem with; it was the change that we had a problem with.
I see.
And when Josh came over to the team, they showed Michelle kind of pulling him aside and saying, hey, listen, like you need to come in with an open mind because we have a lot of very strong females that are very loud. And he didn't want to take that advice. And then what they didn't show you was pretty much everybody on the red team kind of having that same conversation, saying like,
him.
look, you gotta kind of like just come in and be part of the team.
He kind of has that a very similar personality, which is he's a strong presence. You know, he's got a strong personality.
And he's a little bitchy. Yeah.
It's a strong personality.
Translation. What basically is being said.
So we weren't upset about him. We were just upset about the change. But then when he put out our fire and didn't want to own up to that shit, like, and I just wanted to hit him with a freaking shovel, like, and then like when he wouldn't even help me. No.
Well, as he came on the show and he explained, I don't know why I'm like defending Jake. But
Go ahead.
He came on the show and explained he had like an engineer's perspective for how to shovel the shit more effectively.
Of course he did.
And it was like, well, you put it in the bucket first, and then you put it in the barrel,
Right.
and then from the barrel you put it in the thing. So it was like he thought he was working smarter, not harder. What can you say about that?
It's shit. Like, get over yourself, bro. Like, for
stop
real.
it.
Like, I have no fucking time for this.
Well, I feel like he did come in there with something to prove, and I feel like he came. I mean, from what we saw, the perspective we saw, he came in guns blazing. Like, okay, y'all need to listen to me because you aren't good, and I'm gonna help you, and this is what.
and the fact is that you are not good.
right.
So
The
sorry about your life.
mansplaining it is what
Yeah.
the term
Mansplaining.
is.
Mansplaining. That's exactly what it is,
So,
and you can't do that to a bunch
yeah.
of to 12 angry,
No.
bitchy women that
No.
haven't seen a chocolate bar in 5 weeks.
As soon as I see
why
him,
haven't you seen a chocolate bar? What's that about? Do they take,
We're in sequester, so we only see what they give us.
and they don't give you a chocolate?
I mean, if we ask for it, yeah, but I mean, how many times do you really think about needing a chocolate bar?
so many times a day.
I mean, but do you think about it enough to put it on a list?
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't.
do they give you Hennessy?
No,
on the
no, beer and wine, and that's it, and crappy beer and wine, and
Oh,
that's
really?
it, and not until they say that it's okay for us
It's
to have
okay
it,
to have it.
and then we're supposed to have a 2-drink maximum.
Oh, I would not.
Yeah.
Do well.
That wouldn't work.
Yeah,
do
even
well.
like half the time on challenges and stuff, if you see like a lot of times on rewards, if you see a team drinking champagne, more than likely it's actually apple cider.
Really?
Yeah.
That is wrong.
Yeah.
That's
If
yeah.
the way we
TV.
figured it out was if we were doing if we were going into dinner service that night, because they don't tell us what, like we don't wake up in the morning, they're
have
not
a
somebody
schedule.
that's like, okay, so at 10 o'clock we're gonna do this and 11 o'clock
Right.
we're gonna do, we don't get that. We get woken up and then it's just like wait and see.
and see what happens.
Yeah, so we would figure out if we had to do dinner service that night by
Champagne or no champagne?
champagne or champagne.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Are you perpetually exhausted while you're doing the show?
Always. 100%.
Do they give you any downtime to at least kind of recharge,
No.
or no?
Not at all.
It's just
Wow.
Not at all.
Go.
Even like simple things that you forget that are like a luxury in your life, like turning on and off the lights in your bedroom, you don't have. The lights in the house are controlled by production. So
really?
like
Oh.
if everybody else in the house is like up partying and being crazy on the patio, and you're like that one person that's like, screw it, I know we're gonna have a crazy challenge tomorrow, I'm going to bed early. You go in your room, you go to sleep. You got studio lights on.
Yeah.
Like you gotta like cocoon
mask it,
yourself.
yeah.
To not have light in
and
your
then they
eyes.
don't turn the lights off until they decide
Decide
to turn
that
the
it's
lights
time.
off. And then in the morning, when they want you to wake up, boop, Studio lights come
It's
on.
like the Truman Show.
Yes, it's exactly.
Well,
like
and
the
that would,
show.
I think, also aid. We also have, you can't see him, but we have Anthony from season 11 in the house, and he's over here nodding like,
Yes.
yes, I've been through that. Yes, I know all about that.
Yes.
But I think that also aids into the psychosis of, how everybody gets and being, like you said, no chocolate or no alcohol or no sleep. You're going to be acting a certain way, and that might not be how you normally are, but that's why you're going
Trying
to
to make
feed into the
excuses
show.
for Elise.
Well, I mean, and it is like, look,
Elise
That was
just
it.
needed some chocolate, everybody.
Yeah.
I will
Just
give
give
Elise
that
this.
girl a break. She really just
Whatever.
needed some chocolate.
I will
Whatever.
say this about Elise. I do not know Elise personally. I've never worked with her in a separate event. There's a lot of Hell's Kitchen people that I've worked with in other events. That's how I met Anthony. There's a lot of people that I know off of the Hell's Kitchen set. And we've gotten to be friends. We have common interests, whatever. I've never worked with, spoken to, or interacted with Elise off of season 17.
Wait, so who
set.
do you hang out with? Let's hear the juice.
Who do I hang
do you
out with?
from Hell's Kitchen? Who are your buddies?
So Barbie Marshall's one of my very, very good friends.
Oh.
She's a Philly girl, so her and I do a lot of events together. Who else? Megan Gill was really cool. Latasha's really awesome. Frankie Bellotti we love. Who else?
Cool.
Trying to think of who else.
Longer list.
There's a lot of people.
How many seasons? 17?
17, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of seasons.
So there's a lot of people that I know off of the sets.
Right.
And there's even people from my own season where I got to know them off of the set, from season 15 where I got to know them off of the set and turned out to really, really enjoy them.
Oh, that's cool.
Like Ashley from season 15. I adore her, Ashley Nicole.
Yes.
Absolutely adore her. On set, I thought she was kind of annoying, but she's great in real life.
In real life.
At least I do not know like that.
Okay.
I know that
She's probably great in real life. I'm just
had I
gonna say
met her,
She's probably
had I met her, like I would probably enjoy parts of her. From
sure-
what
I'm
I know right now, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
that. Word. Let's get off my girl.
Sorry.
And let's.
I'm sorry.
Let's dive into this
She's
episode.
got giant
real
muscles
quick.
though. Like
She
so,
does.
She
I
does
mean,
have some
she can
giant
totally
muscles,
kiss.
doesn't she?
She could kick my ass,
Yeah.
and so I'm gonna say I love Elise.
So, in this particular episode, you guys come in and the kitchen is turned into a jungle, which looks crazy.
It was
some
cool.
out of Jumanji or something.
It was cool.
It was cool.
Yeah,
Was
it was cool.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a few times when when the set gets changed, and it's like sometimes it's like cheesy and stupid, and like sometimes it's like that was one of those times that it was like.
It was dope. I thought what was uncool was spearing the styrofoam ingredients. Like
was
I
like,
did think that
come
was
on.
uncool.
Yeah.
Like I thought the set looked cool. I was like, oh okay, and then they got the spears, and I'm like, oh,
The
they're
spears
actually
were
gonna
sharp, too.
And they looked sharp, and then I'm like, oh, they're going to
Boxes.
stab
They're stabbing pizza boxes.
styrofoam ingredient boxes, and they have to keep it on this. Like that's weird.
It was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. These challenges this season have been
Subpar.
Some real weak sauce.
So yeah.
Some
Yeah,
weak
the
sauce.
challenges have been strange.
Did
I
that
don't know.
jungle take over the whole dining room?
The whole dining room, even like, but they went bananas with it. They even like brought it up the stairs and like to the upstairs too. Like
Really?
the whole thing was like covered in trees. It was cool.
I mean, I feel like
Yeah,
they
and
could
then
have
like
put their energy.
up lights everywhere, and there was like
You
it
men
was cool.
didn't like the stabbing of the boxes? I'm
I
just
was-
saying. I mean, the premise, yeah, okay, I get it. I think it was cool that, okay, you
But
got
we
the
didn't
wild
have to
boar.
stab any like meat products. We just stabbed vegetables.
Right, but I mean, well, the boar, the venison, and the elk were the
Were the
proteins.
spears.
Right.
Right.
So you're stabbing leeks and stuff of
Beets
that. Yeah,
and
that stuff like that.
apples.
But I'm just saying, like the premise of it is just like I would have preferred if you actually stabbed like a real like something
Like a boar.
Like yeah,
Like a,
that
like
would
a
have been
human,
dope. Like an
human
actually
game.
like a
In
boar.
that jungle setting, there's a
So
boar.
boar.
you know what? Funny enough, what was it? 2 episodes ago or 3 episodes ago, when we went outside and we saw the pen of animals.
Yes.
The first thing that went through my mind was, we're gonna have to wrestle one of these damn animals, and I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
Because
But
when you,
that's happened before.
I'm
That's
sure it
in
has.
several seasons.
So what most people don't realize is that I have this ridiculous fear of birds.
Oh.
Huge fear of birds. And I
shaking his
like it doesn't matter like little tiny finches, it doesn't matter if it's a little tiny finch
Mm-hmm.
or a giant ostrich. Like I don't want to be anywhere near it. I run, I scream. I'm at the zoo and I scream because the birds flying near me.
Yeah.
I don't do birds. So we go out and I'm like, because like a couple nights beforehand, Barbie and I were talking about like, what are we afraid of? And I was like, I'm afraid of birds and I don't like them. And then 2 days later, what do you know? We go out there and there's freaking chickens out there. I was like, bitch.
They were listening.
I was so scared.
Yeah. Wasn't that an Alfred Hitchcock movie?
Oh yeah, sure.
Very
is.
Birds,
I've
like
never
back in the
seen
day?
it and I won't watch it.
Yeah,
It's not one you're gonna want to watch.
Yeah,
I don't
you
wanna
wanna
watch
see
it.
that.
Yeah.
You don't want to see that.
No, ain't
So
nobody got
with
time.
this particular challenge, you had to hunt for your ingredients via the boxes, and then you had to take turns, and you got 5 ingredients per protein, and then 2 chefs per team had to cook each protein. From each team. So, and then there was one where it was just one person that had to cook. So, and you thought boar had rabies. Is that true?
No, come on. I know boars don't have rabies.
Okay.
I don't know.
I mean, you said it. I mean, I know there's editing, but I mean, you did say that though, right?
I mean, I just.
Yeah.
What's a boar? Like,
Yeah.
who eats boar?
Right.
It's just pig.
Kind of like bacon.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
just-
wild pig.
Just eat a pig.
Okay.
Just eat a domestic
'Cause,
pig.
right,
It's
to-
probably
to-
cheaper.
To not have rabies. Got
And
it.
so that you don't get rabies and die.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know.
Right. It's all good.
I'm from South Jersey, okay?
Right.
Like,
There's no
we don't
boars there.
have any of that nonsense.
Yeah. There's no animals in Jersey.
No, there's plenty of animals. It's just, you know, the animals that we raised on the farm and then we, you know,
Right.
we named it something cute and
Right.
pretended to like it and then was like, here, T-Bone, get on the truck. We're going to go to a happy place.
Oh.
And then we bring it back and we eat it.
Really
Okay.
sad.
Wow.
It's just
okay.
a circle of life.
T-bone.
But that's
Relax.
not disturbing at all. And matter of
boars.
fact, speaking of boar, you were cooking boar, and your boar was raw at first.
Yeah, it was super underdone.
Is it? Do you think that, or was it different cooking that than pork?
Yeah.
It is
Huge.
A huge difference.
Huge. And I had
Really?
never cooked with that before. I mean, I think with any new protein that you cook, there's always like a little bit of a learning curve. You can always say, okay, like poultry is poultry and red meat is red meat. But even with like boar, like you want that served a little bit more on the medium side, where with pork,
You can't. Yeah.
You can't.
like if you serve that pink,
Yeah.
like
It's a
Gordon's
wrap.
gonna spear you in the brain.
Right. It's a
Like,
wrap.
Yeah, like ain't nobody got time for that. So anytime in any kitchen I've ever worked in where I have a new protein or a new ingredient, it doesn't matter if it's a vegetable or a protein, there's always like a test that I do with like, how am I supposed to cook it? What tastes good? What happens if I do this? What happens if I overcook it, you know? And in Hell's Kitchen, you don't get that.
Right.
And so with boar, that was the first time I had ever even seen it.
Did you taste it? Did you get to eat your dish?
No. No. I just know that I sliced that sucker open and I was like, that shit's raw.
That's
Yeah.
raw.
And I can't serve it. And so what am I going to do? Like
Right.
either A, I'm going to serve it raw, or B, I'm going to throw it into a hot pan and get it at least up to temp and probably screw it anyway.
And that's
but
what
at
you
least,
did.
And that's exactly what I did.
And they called you out on it.
Absolutely.
So.
So it's like, what was I supposed to do? Serve it raw or
Right.
serve it overcooked?
And the they that you're referring to, of course, are John and Vinny
Yes.
from the John and Vinny restaurant group.
Absolutely.
Animal, which I have been to here in LA.
How is it? I've always wondered about that place.
It's
You haven't been
very-
to Lem? You usually go to all the restaurants.
You
in
know
town.
what, Frank? I'm not going to do that with you today.
Yep.
Go to all restaurants.
It's very
But I have
good.
heard about it.
Animals.
We can
great,
go because I
fantastic.
haven't been either.
Okay, dope.
All right.
It's
I'm
really,
still
really
new to
good.
Southern California.
Okay.
So.
All their restaurants are great. Animal, Son of a Gun.
They have quite a few.
I know of Animal, Son of a Gun, and then the third is like something French that I can't pronounce and I haven't been to yet.
Oh, okay.
But very good.
Awesome.
They're cool guys.
Field trip.
Yeah, field trip.
So Van wins the board challenge on that group, and then there was venison, which Elise won.
Her venison looked banging.
Yeah.
She did good.
Yeah,
She did really well.
Always does good.
Which
And
I
so-
know how to cook
Easy left.
venison.
Easy.
I was
Easy
so
left.
mad about that.
You hot in that fall sweater over there?
I was just like stating facts.
I know how to cook venison though. Like my
Yeah.
brother hunts every winter in New Jersey.
Why didn't you have venison? What?
Huh?
You weren't loud enough?
I didn't get to pick it.
Oh, it didn't
It
work
was just
that
like,
way.
here, this is yours.
Oh, and you
Yeah,
just had to work
venison's
with it.
much
Yeah.
more common, I feel like, than boar,
Right.
for sure.
I know how to cook that. I don't know how to cook boar.
Okay.
Oh, so at no point they asked you like, hey, who wants to cook this? this,
No,
or this?
never.
It's just like, nope, you're doing this.
No.
This
yeah.
particular one, you were assigned
Yeah.
the protein. Got it. Elk was the last one, and Robin won, which I was very surprised.
Absolutely.
Robin's a strong cook.
Is she like? Because I feel like
I'm also like,
I'm always like I say this, and no shade, but I feel like she's been there a little too long.
Robin has not been showing her best
Is
right
that
now.
what it is? Okay.
I don't know. So I might be a little bit biased because Robin's my girl. You saw when I got eliminated, she was the only one that was crying
yes.
because Robin's my girl. We had a lot of snuggle time off, on set. But she's a strong cook. She just sucks under pressure.
That's what it
She
is.
buckles under pressure, and she's like too
And
neurotic, and
you
she
can
thinks too
kind of
much.
tell, you can kind of tell.
Part of being a chef, and part of especially being a chef on Hell's Kitchen, is learning to just not think. Just do what
Kinda
you
be a
know what to
robot.
do, and like kind of like do what is in your gut,
Right.
and just act on it
Don't
instead of
overthink.
like overthinking it. Yeah.
I'll tell you
Well,
what
this
she
time-
could have done without was all the baby.
Yeah.
Baby,
That was funny.
I'm like,
That
it
was funny. That little montage.
a little much,
That
girl.
was hilarious.
But I did like her just like, I'm going to watch Benjamin. And what he does,
Yeah.
I'll just follow
Right.
along.
Exactly.
Right.
I'll do that. He turns it, I'll turn it. All right.
There
Poor
it is.
Robin.
Yep.
That was
Oh,
funny.
My Robin.
Which still didn't work for her. So
She's better than Benjamin did.
no, I mean, yeah, exactly. So because of Robin, the blue team ended up winning, and they ended up going to Hummingbird Nest Ranch, which is this bougie spot that had all this caviar.
Yeah, that didn't look fun to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know what? I have had caviar, but like
on sushi,
like
little
on
droplets
sushi.
on sushi.
Yeah, I haven't had like what they were doing.
I actually haven't either because the
have.
thought of it makes me
Is,
go like,
is it?
It's not that great. I
not
mean,
that
I
great?
don't know.
does it
Again,
taste like fish?
it tastes like salt.
I heard it's very salty.
It's briny.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's like,
get
the
one.
fun part about it is like popping it against like the back of your teeth, and then it's just kind of weird. I don't know.
Millie
I'm not
loved
a
it,
fan.
though.
No,
Yeah.
Millie
Oh, he
was
was-
making sweet love.
Yeah, I was waiting for some like Barry White to be playing.
Did I just do my Barbie Marshall face?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course Millie liked it.
That was
Millie's
funny.
on Philly.
Millie from Philly.
Millie's my boy. I love
Yeah.
Millie.
No, he's cool. He's
cool.
Millie was the one person that when he walked in on day one, when we were all in the green room, when he walked in, I was so excited to see Millie. I love Millie. He's
Yeah.
just such a good presence to be around.
He seems like cool people.
No, he does.
No.
And
Yeah.
he's so giant and cuddly and huge. Like, I mean, I'm 4'11" and he's like 6'7" or something like that.
Wow, I
he's
didn't realize that.
humongous.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
And so, like, anytime, even in when he comes down to Atlantic City to do an event, like, anytime I see him, I like run up to him and like jump on top of him. It's really funny.
That's
The
funny.
thing I liked about Millie in this episode is at the top when Elise is going crazy on the patio, and there's Millie just sitting there, just standing there, just standing there, not saying anything. He's like, all right.
Millie
Handle that.
is the epitome of a gentle giant.
Yeah.
He's awesome. He's so kind.
Word. So you guys actually get the privilege and pleasure of cleaning the dorms, which seemed like an amazing fun time.
They need to be cleaned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long does that
happens.
take?
A couple hours.
Yeah.
Not even. It's a 4-bedroom dorm.
All right.
It's not huge.
So they make it look worse than.
Yeah. I mean, I think this time around I don't know. I guess both times around they made it seem like we were a lot more dirty than we were. Like,
Well, the burger patties seemed weird.
Yes.
I was like,
Burger
just
patties in the
burger
back,
patties
yeah.
just hanging out. And those are Millie's by.
Probably,
Right.
yeah.
He was like, oh, it's burger. And I think Wendy's took it and was just like, I hope he didn't was saving these. Because that would be disgusting, actually. So let's get into dinner service. And so we see Wendy actually helping, which I thought was interesting. And she was kind of surprised.
Yeah.
Because, speaking of Elise, she was helping her with her dish. And, normally, from what we see, again, what is shown to us, seemed like Elise is on it. She doesn't need any help, doesn't really ask for help. And this time she was needing help. Do you know what was going on with that? Because was it a new dish, or why was Wendy helping her?
No. You
Michelle?
mean
Oh, Michelle.
Jennifer. It was
Jennifer.
Sorry.
Oh, because okay, so
Sorry,
yeah, I'm like, who is
sorry.
Wendy? So if I'm remembering correctly, Elise was on Cold Apps, correct? She was doing like salads and stuff.
I believe so.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I think that was just a station that she hadn't worked on before. Cold Apps has a lot of ingredients. And a lot of the salads this time around, all of the salads were composed. So season 15, all of our salads kind of got thrown together in a bowl, and we sent the whole bowl up to the pass, and then Chef Christina plated everything. This time around, everything was composed at our station. And they were very specific about what goes where. So it was like 5 pieces of salmon that were staggered, and then 3 dots of this and 2 dots of this, and it was very, very composed.
I see.
So if I'm remembering correctly, that was the first time Elise had ever been on that station, and Jennifer had actually been on that station twice before.
I see.
She had that station down.
So that was why.
And I think that's why, you know, and I'm pretty sure that everybody that was on that station, whoever they were next to, they were screaming out like, hey, 2 of this, right? Yes, okay. 3 of this, right? Yes, okay. But that kind of goes throughout the kitchen, you know? At any station that you're on, you're yelling to the person next to you like, hey, I'm doing this right? And they're like, yeah, because at the end of the day, you're given a brand new menu and all these brand new recipes in a book, and it's thrown at you, and it's like, by the way, you have dinner service tonight.
Right.
Good luck.
Have at it.
Try not to suck.
Makes sense.
Is there a station that everybody just pretty much generally hates, or it kind of varies from person to person?
I think it varies from person to person. Like, I hate garnish. Hate garnish. Even season 15, I sucked at garnish.
And it seemed like that for a non-cook.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
seemed like that would
That's
be the easiest
where I'd
one.
want to be.
It seems like it's the easiest, but there's a lot going on, and the problem with it is that if like your garnish that is going with the beef Wellington, the beef Wellington gets fucked, then your garnish is screwed, and you have to start all over. So on garnish, a ticket gets called, and you mise en place yourself out. You're like, okay, here's my beef Wellington, here's my lobster Wellington, here's my salmon, whatever. You place yourself out. And then when the beef Wellington goes up and it goes back, you can't hold vegetables.
Right.
So you gotta go and like reconfigure everything.
I
And
see.
it's a lot of organization, it's a lot of things to think about. I personally am really bad at garnish. Michelle, awesome on garnish.
Amazing.
I am really good at hot apps. I love hot apps. That was my favorite station. I could rock hot apps all day long. There's other people like Ashley Nickel hates hot apps.
Hate apps. I see.
Hates it.
Individual. Okay.
And I can't even eat pasta, and I still like it.
So that explains that. We see John Resnick make a little cameo appearance. Jennifer goes nuts over that.
Yeah, I didn't know who he was.
Loser.
Yeah, I did not know who he was either. I'm just like,
I don't know. I was like, who is this Botox person?
yes, his
He
skin
had,
looks.
he had some work. Some
Sorry,
work
guy. I'm
done.
sorry, John Resnick. I'm sure you're awesome.
Whoever you are.
You struggled a little bit with the pork. That's when you forgot.
Well, I
Or
didn't
was you
hear.
couldn't hear?
I didn't hear the call get put. The call come for pork, and pork is funny on this new menu because pork
Right.
actually comes off of the fish station.
Oh, really?
Who'd have thunk?
Huh.
But that's because the grill is right there,
Oh, I see.
and I didn't hear it get called, and therefore I didn't throw it down. And if I had thrown it down and heard it, then I would have been fine.
You would have been good.
But I didn't hear it, and so it's a double bone pork chop, so
Right.
it's 20-minute pickup.
You
easy.
have to
Yeah.
cook it all the way through.
Yeah.
What's like watching this episode back and realizing, oh wait, this is the moment he called that, and nope, I did not remember him saying that.
You know what's funny? I still didn't hear him call it.
What if he ever called it? He might not have ever called it. I think that was a problem. It was sabotage. Conspiracy to get
All
Manda
I
out of
remember
there.
about that night was Dana, because we were in the weeds and then we were not in the weeds, and then we started kind of getting momentum, and then Dana went over to the pass because she was working garnish and looked at all the tickets, and she looked at me. She goes, "Amanda, do you know you have 3 porks?" And I was like, "No," and she was like, "Coming up next," and I was like, "Fuck!" So I ran, I threw 3 porks down, and then next thing you know, Gordon's like, "On order, 1 pork."
Right.
I was like, "Shit!"
That's what
And as soon
Dunzo.
as that happened, I knew. I was like, "I'm going home tonight."
Right.
There's nothing I can do about this. And I'm like, "I'm telling you guys the truth. I got 20 minutes on that." And Gordon's
Right.
like, 20 minutes. Rah."
That was a
I
problem.
was like, "I mean, do you want it raw or do you want it real?" Like,
well, there was a lot of raw stuff because
Well, yeah,
Michelle
Michelle, the
sends up
chicken,
the raw
yeah.
chicken.
and that's what pissed me off about that whole situation was like, anytime in Hell's Kitchen, you do not send up raw chicken.
I feel like
Right?
chicken's like a thing that you can't really be messing up.
If you're slicing it at your station, then that is your, like, you own it.
You own
You
that.
know, like, you can see that it's raw. You throw it back in the oven real quick and you say, "Chef, I need 5 more minutes."
Make sure that it's
That
done.
pissed me off.
So there was someone, I can remember, but raw food goes up again in the Red Kitchen, and this is when the blue team is called over
The duck,
to basically,
Mm-hmm.
yes, to save you all, and then boom, you guys get the boot,
Ugh, that's
which
gotta hurt.
Sucks.
has happened a lot this season.
It's
He just
unreal,
wants to
yeah.
kick people out this season.
I know.
And so then you all go and deliberate, and then there's the Elise and Michelle show again during the deliberation, which I thought, because of what happened, I thought maybe one of them was going to go up, and that did not happen.
I do not like the way that Elise was handling the situation. However, she was making a very valid point about Michelle, and I kind of also thought maybe Michelle could be
Valid point. Yeah,
put up as well.
that's
I mean,
valid
now if she
point.
could have
She makes
leveled
a
it
lot of
down
valid
to
points.
like a 2, like just taking it down, to
right,
like a
just a
2.
notch.
Yeah.
Sure, she's got that strong presence, voice, whatever. She was just making a point. I mean, it's Hell's
she made a
Kitchen.
point. Yeah.
It's Hell's Kitchen. So during elimination, there's the talking going on, and that's when we see, and it looks like it's
was
going on,
painful.
and it sounded like Gordon Ramsay was like trying to say something,
Yep.
and then like the way they edited it, and then they just like,
That
oh, we're still
shit
talking.
went on forever.
Forever.
I remember because the whole reason I was like, so I don't know if you noticed, but like I was like, thanks for the opportunity, be nice to each other, whatever, and I like peaced out. I had to pee so bad.
Did you really? Because you've been standing there for
I
so
had
long.
been standing there
That's
forever,
hilarious.
and I was like, dude, all I have to do is pee. Like, just get me out of
Yeah.
here. I don't care. But he said, Manda, give me your jacket. And I was like,
I'm
see
out.
you. Like, where's the bathroom?
Where's the bathroom? That's funny. It was between you and Barbie, and we talked earlier, and you felt like it should have been you, but it doesn't necessarily mean it should have been Barbie. It should have been Elise. because of
Yeah,
her
I mean, I
actions.
think Barbie is. I know Barbie is a very strong chef. I think I think that the red team was better with me than without me. Like I said, I was really pissed off and bummed out that I had to go, but I had to go, and it is what it is. Like, it's out of my control.
Right.
So
What a good mentality. What a nice attitude you have.
I got
about it.
to go down to San Diego for a few days and drink a lot of alcohol and.
No, you were
real
missing.
true alcohol, not
Yeah,
that. Not
no,
that
like
apple juice one.
I got to drink all of the vodka in,
All
in
of it.
southern San Diego.
All of it. Amanda had all of it.
I had all of the
411 of
Cheetos,
you
yes.
had all of it.
Yes, I slept for a few days, and
Yeah.
then it was it.
I can imagine.
And I got to go home and see my babies.
That's dope.
The walk of shame that you do as you exit and you go out the restaurant, down the hallway, do they shoot that up top at the beginning of the season, or do they actually shoot that the night
They
you get
shoot
eliminated?
that night, and they shoot it like 5 times at least. But my butt looked really good that time, so I was really excited.
It's like, all right, yeah, you got it.
Hilarious. Speaking of Amanda's butt, that's been our show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. No, we do have to wrap, but
King of transitions. Over there.
we
Jeez.
do what we can. But
Just Google it.
yeah, it's been a great show. Amanda, thank you so much. Hand claps for her being in the studio.
And for the cupcakes.
Yeah, and for the cupcakes, and shout out
Enjoy
to
them.
Anthony for holding it down and giving the dope head nods and the shakes of the head
Best
while
nodding
we're
of the night.
talking. Absolutely. I've been your host, Lem Gonsalves. You can find me at the Poet Saint all day, every day. Ashley, where you at?
Everybody find me online at Ashley on Camera, and let's talk about all the things. Find me there, Ashley on Camera.
Amanda, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at MomChefNerd.
Boom.
Fantastic. And don't find me anywhere, guys. You don't want to. That's
Just
terrible.
don't do it.
But it's at Happy Go Jackie, guys.
I'm
going
gonna find you now.
Uh-oh, you'll be disappointed. Amanda, you'll be
It's gonna be
disappointed.
Can I
so
have
much
11
fun.
followers now? Let's go up to 11. All right, y'all. Until next week, we're about to get these cupcakes. Peace.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.